absolutely batty and a little bit aggressive. I've never actually seen that with leopards, but the certain plant species, they do like to smell. Now, one of the funniest things, especially in areas where leopards are persecuted quite heavily and are very nervous of game drive vehicles or people in general, and researchers are doing projects, and another great place, for example, is the rainforest, just because you can't drive around, you can't see them there, but they need to get photographs on the camera traps of the leopards, and what they do is they spray perfume on certain trees and stuff, and the leopards will do the same as she did with that khaki horse. She'll go rub up and down along it, and funniest enough, it seems that leopards have very expensive taste. So the most successful of all perfumes attempted to get those leopards to rub up and down and really get attracted to that smell is Chanel No. 5. So there's some I wonder if Chanel sponsors any leopard research out in Africa or India where the leopards get to go rub up against Chanel No. 5. I've done it in Gabon. We used a couple of different ones. We used Chanel No. 5, I think we used DKNY, but Chanel No. 5 got us the best pictures. Well, they certainly know what the good stuff is, the leopards. Now it looks like she's having just see the bush moving. A curious one is wondering, what is that orange thing hanging? Brian, can you see that little orange leaf? I think that is all it is. Yes, it is a dead leaf. Oh, she's having a good rub around in the khaki horse again. And you've got to wonder about a leopard's taste, because if she loves rubbing on khaki horse and she loves Chanel No. 5, and they definitely don't smell the same. Maybe if we lose her, we'll get Brian to jump off camera and go roll around in the lovely smelling khaki horse, since he likes it so much. Gladly. I'll film it. I'll film it, Brian. Now remember, guys, this is 100% live, coming to you from South Africa. We're at the moment on Cheetah Plains Private Game Reserve in the northeastern Sabi Sands, part of the Greater Kruger National Park, which is part of the Greater Limpopo Transfrontier Park, which is 8.5 million acres of unfenced wilderness, where the animals can live wild and free, protected from hunting and poaching and all other manners of nefariousness. Of course, one must remember that it is a hard life out here, and the biggest danger often to leopards and lions is other leopards and lions, as you would have seen in that video with Quarantine Vutumi and Inkanyeni. Look at her, she's on her back. She is absolutely loving that khaki horse thicket. Now, I have heard that khaki horse is very good for keeping ticks off if you rub it on your legs. So ticks don't even like the smell of khaki horse. It's only Brian Joubert. Does the thumb like the smell?
Of course.
Of course the thumb likes the smell. I mean, look at that. Even with that white belly exposed, she just melts into the green. Oh, bless you. Oh, again. A nutter farmer would like to know, are guests on safari asked not to wear perfume? I don't know, maybe we should ask the guest. No, of course I'm joking. No. Quite often when you're in a vehicle, you must realize that there's so many more overpowering smells. Oil, gasoline, gendre. So gendre's hair in particular, but no, there are so many more overpowering smells that it doesn't make a difference when people are on a vehicle or on a bushwalk. And you must realize that animals do not associate people now to the smell that they would. So as we know, Africa is the home of the human being, and modern day man reached current form about 200,000 years ago in Africa. So what we smelt like then and what we smell like now are completely different things. So they don't associate any of those smells with human beings, so it's not a problem. And as I said, there's so many overbearing smells around on a game drive vehicle, and you must remember, and it's not only the perfume that might attract the lovely leopard. It's deodorant, it's shampoo, it's washing powder, it's I don't know, what do they make the clothes soft with? Fabric softener, that's the one. See, I never do any laundry. I'm lucky, I live in the bush. All my laundry is done for me. So fabric softener, there we go, that's the one, which is quite a strong smell. But the smell of the vehicles will overpower almost all of that. And of course, when you're on foot, that bipedal upright figure of man, the dominant diurnal predator, it will be enough that they'll move off before wanting to have a good sniff. You can see when I saw her moving, she was quite hungry, but it's still quite warm, so you can see her belly moving up and down. So she is enjoying her time in the little shaded khaki bos thicket with a wonderful smell if you are a leopard and Brian Joubert. But now, of course, we are going to be going off for a little break quickly, so make sure to come back in case she gets up and goes on the hunt. We'll see you shortly. Oh, butterfly just fluttered through. And of course, for those of you watching and getting very confused because there's no advert popping up, we are prepping to go live on Nat.Geo Wild on Sunday night at 10 p.m. and we've got to get our ad break timings spot on. And so, can you believe that? So, if you are sitting in the US of A and you are enjoying your safari, you can see us on a big screen on Nat.Geo Wild, 10 p.m. on Sunday. But even better, it's carrying on for a whole 8 weeks. Every Sunday night, we'll be going live to Nat.Geo Wild. If it's a bit late for you, remember to DVR us, and you can watch us anytime and not miss any of this incredible safari live action. As you can see, when I say action, I mean sleeping cat. Now, Jay Atkinson is saying, how excited are you and the rest of the crew that tomorrow is the big day, the beginning of our series on Nat.Geo Wild? Well, I would say I'm pretty ecstatic. Brian, what would you say?
I'm fairly chuffed.
Fairly chuffed. But where's a stick? He likes the smell of khaki bos, and he's just fairly chuffed. I don't think we need to set a reset button, a whack on the back of the head, or maybe it was because he whacked his head on the aerial yesterday. No, we are all very, very excited, and we can't wait to hopefully gain a few more Safari Live fans. And it is absolutely incredible that we are able to bring this to you live wherever you are in the world, and give you a glimpse into the incredible wildlife of Africa and to our home. You can see that wonderful little white tip to her tail there. Not much is going to be following it while it's in the thicket there. There's the khaki bos, Brian's new favourite plant. There's the orange dried leaf. And there's Inkanyeni, who seems to be absolutely in ecstasy. Now, we're going to sit here, as I said, hopefully she gets moving, hopefully she finds Vutumi, her 13.5-month-old cub, and hopefully she makes a kill, and we're sitting right in this tree for going live on Nat.Geo Wild. But while we do that, it seems like Commander Bond has meandered all the way back to Djuma.
Indeed we have, everybody, and we have found a ring-necked dove that is eating insects. They are largely well, they're supposed to be seed eaters, really, but that one is devouring ants. Delicious. Isn't it lovely? They're so underrated as they waddle about the place. Incredibly fast flyers. It's fantastic. Anyway, we are now going to play the game Two Truths and One Lie, which many of you will know, of course. And the reason we're going to do this is not really to test you so much as to test the software around which we're doing it. So I now have to make up two truths and one lie, which will not necessarily be in that order. I think that we will go with truths and lies about birds. Good. Okay. David, are you ready? Fact 1. There is only one flightless bird in South Africa. Fact 2. There are more than 900 species of bird in the Kruger National Park. Fact 3. The heaviest flying bird is the Corey bustard. There you are. Those are your three facts. Whichever one you think is utter rubbish, hashtag Safari Live fact whatever you think it is. So you put the hashtag Safari Live, the word fact, and then the number of the one that you think is rubbish. So fact 1 was that what was fact 1? Fact 1 was about ostriches. No, Rebecca, that is incorrect. That was fact 2. Fact 2 was that there are 900 species of birds here. Fact 1 is that there's only one flightless bird in Africa. And fact 3 was that the Corey bustard is the heaviest flying bird in Africa. Now, I didn't realize that we're in a fake advert break, so I will probably have to do that all again. Right, okay, good. So there you go. If you wouldn't mind popping through an answer there, for most of you that will be a ridiculously easy test. Hashtag Safari Live, and then you put the fact and the number that you think of the one is rubbish. That is rubbish. Right, let's head across to Jamie Patterson, who's got herself a tortoise.
From highly mobile terrapins, a little bit earlier with James, to a highly mobile speaks a tortoise on his way off in search of some shelter. Oops, sorry, hooked myself into a branch there. I absolutely love chelonians, and I particularly like speaks hinged tortoises. Jandre, don't run away, he's charging at you. You must never run. Oh, panic, reverse, back up. Which way am I going to go? This way. Change direction. I think we should model our future 4x4 vehicles on the way that tortoises move. I think that would be thoroughly entertaining. Oh, obstacle. Look how impressive this is. The incredible way that this tortoise is, in theory, going to... Uh-oh, careful. Is in theory going to get up over this log. Look at this. Oh, okay, so not the most dignified descent, and certainly not the most controlled descent in the world. Nevertheless, our Speaks Hinge tortoise is on a serious mission, motoring along. Now, the name Hinge tortoise actually comes from... Hello, buddy. Can I come and say hello to you for a second? The name Speaks Hinge tortoise actually comes from the hinge that sits at the back of his shell. So, if you can have a look, if he will sit still for 2 seconds, which I don't think he's going to do. It's alright, it's okay. There's his hinge there. So that hinge sits on the back of the tortoise's shell and allows it to close up ever so slightly and protect the back end, the tail, and the feet, or the back legs. So that's where the name Speaks Hinge tortoise comes from. I don't know who Speaks was. I'm going to assume that he was somebody with a deep and meaningful interest in chelonians, hence why he was allowed to have a tortoise species named after him. Right, our tortoise is running away, and Inkanyeni apparently is about to do the same thing. Let's go over to her.
Not quite running, but she's on the move again, and unfortunately she is heading a little bit north. We're just trying to get around her now. Let's hope she doesn't cross our northern traverse edge. But she is sort of slowly making her way to that area. Watch out, Brian. Now she might head for that marula tree for a scent mark. There we go. 1, 2, squirt, squirt. Oh dear. You run dry, madam. Hi, Shah. Shah would like to know, do male leopards scent mark more than female leopards? They do, because they've got a much larger area. Watch out, Ariel there, Brian. A much larger area that they've got a scent mark through. So that's why they end up scent marking a lot more. Here we go, the very typical leopard pose when it comes to a fallen log. Front legs up, have a quick squiz. Well, that was a very big tree once upon a time. Now she's heading into some thickets here. Hopefully we're going to be able to find a way to weave through and stick with her. Okay, now we go. I'm hoping she's going to head towards a beautiful big marula tree on top of a lovely termite mound. So I'm just trying to beat her there. We okay? Perfect. See, now this is the termite mound in the tree I was talking about. I was hoping she was heading for this spot, and it looks like she is doing just that. So quite often it's really important to second guess where a leopard's going to go in these thicker areas. So reading her behavior, knowing that she's going to probably head towards a termite mound, nice high ground, or even if she's on the scent marking route, this is a tree she would most likely scent mark. Hello, beautiful. So gorgeous. She's going to come right next to us. Straight to the marula tree. Sniff, 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 sniff. See who else has been around. Has quarantine been here? Has Shivala? Oh, she's going to jump up right next to us. Oh, yay! Oh, that is brilliant. You are a beautiful lady, and she's in her namesake. A beautiful. Now that's not something you'd see too often, a leopard calling from in a tree, and I think she's searching for the young miscreant Vutomi. Hey, madam. Isn't that absolutely exquisite light? And she looks like she wants to lie down, and she might go a little bit higher. Oh, they are just so incredibly fluid and graceful. gonna lie down now, hopefully. If she's pizzled in senior now, it's very nice. Absolutely gorgeous. Over. Look at that. I mean, I was expecting her to scent mark. I was not expecting her to jump up here. But I mean, she did get her name for her over fondness of being in marula trees. Now, I think she is looking for Vitomi while she's calling. Oh, excuse me.
Listen.
Thank you. Khaki boss. Now, quickly across to James.
Can you believe it, everybody? A crocodile. There it is. Sinister beast, everyone's favourite villain of the African wilderness. And it's in the muck that is on, or the scum, if you like, on the top of the Chitwa Dam. It's not a very big one. Well, it's big enough to give you a nasty nip, and, well, for a human being, it would mean certain death almost. It's probably about, say 6.5 feet long. But to the hippopotamus in this dam, a completely harmless creature. And it'll be looking largely, I think, for catfish. Isn't that cool? There's something so sinister and scary about a crocodile. Ugh. Now, the last crocodile, of course, that we saw was chomping down on a Thompson's gazelle in Kenya, all the way back in September. Seems like a lifetime ago, David. Well, this one's not going to be eating any Thompson's gazelles, but it may well be eating the odd baby impala and many catfish. And this, everyone, is why you don't ever go swimming in an African water body unless it is on a farm far away from any kind of protected area. Crocodiles come from all over the place. They find water, no one really knows how, and then they lurk just below the surface, waiting for something to eat. With that, you'd have no idea that he was here. Well spotted, David. David found the crocodile, everybody. And soon he'll probably disappear. Just sink below the surface. So we're back at the dam. I don't know if Brent brought you here, but David has never been here, so I thought we'd pop along and see if we couldn't find something interesting, and surely we have. The great Chitwa Lake, Lake Chitwa, almost as big as Lake Michigan. Obviously that's rubbish. And there apparently is a pod of 17 hippopotami here. We've only seen 1 or 2. I think the rest of them all at the other side of the dam right now. It is a most peaceful scene. Lovely birds calling. A couple of flycatchers. You can hear some red-billed buffalo weavers, some blacksmith plovers, some water thickneys, and the ubiquitous Egyptian goose. Wah, 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 wah. Right, Pyjamas would like to go and put on her pyjamas, so we're going to head across to her so that she might bid you a fond good evening.
Not quite yet, and definitely not yet on Old Year's night, but I do want to show you something really interesting, because this particular species of termites has a completely different approach to the ones that we were with earlier. And each and every single exit hole is filled with these enormous soldiers. Smallish soldiers termites, and then the absolutely massive ones with essentially heads that are larger than their bodies. And that will break your skin if that bites you. Won't it, Chandra? Chandra says yes, because he got bitten by one not too long ago. So they really are seriously powerful. So this is a completely different approach. Rather than having workers as a sacrifice, I guess these alates have soldiers as a protection. And it's so interesting watching them. I wanted to see whether maybe one of them would grab this. But it's a little bit of an awkward angle. But it's so interesting watching the jaws and the reactions of these soldier termites. They don't think, they just bite. If there's anything near them, they just attack it, sinking their very powerful jaws in. Now, James has often demonstrated the biting powers of these little ones. The larger ones are thoroughly unpleasant, and oh goodness, there's one making its way towards me as well. I'm very precariously perched here, and I could at any moment fall down. That's okay. It'll be totally worth it. Now, the alates in this particular species of termite are completely different to the ones that we saw earlier. They are massive, but as in the biggest termite alates, they are seriously huge. Now, this is the marvelous thing about this time of year, is we get to see all kinds of exciting and fascinating things. It is time for Chandra and myself to repair? Well, that too. To return to the tent in order to set up for fireside chat. We'll send you over now. Let's go to James.
Huge fight going on there, everybody. It might just be two young bulls having a bit of a sort of a spat with each other. It could easily be, but they're having quite a ruckus. They're throwing water all over each other and making their grunting noises. And I know Brent was saying that last night, that during his childhood, of course, that was the constant soundtrack of the night, was the hippopotami making noises like that. Certainly for me, it's been the soundtrack of living in wilderness areas. There it goes. And while we wait and see what they do again, David, you won't believe what I've spotted. It is a second crocodilian, straight there in front of us. Can you see it there? Yeah. That's him. Oh, he's disappeared under the water, the terrible, terrible creature. He's hiding. He's waiting for us to dip our toes in to test the water. No. Anyway, I believe you're all very excited to see all the hippopotami. I too am happy to see hippopotami. I am slightly reminded, of course, of Gracie, who loved hippopotami so much. Oh, there's an Egyptian goose. Joe, you're wondering about whether or not there was a carcass behind the crocodile. I can see what you're looking at. While Dave keeps his eye on the crocodile that's moving there. Yes, there was a bit of carcass, actually. That's correct, I think. Let me just get my binoculars out. Yes, indeed. A little bit of rotting something. I can't tell what it is. Oh, you know what that is? Can you see on the edge there? You know the peninsula that he crossed? There's a bit of muck there. If you go to the left of that, you'll see a bit of white tubing, it looks like. There we are. What do you think that is? That looks to me like the large skull of a catfish. Could it possibly be? Yes, it is. You can see the whisker. You can see the whiskers there. Yes, apparently Brent also saw a catfish head there yesterday. Can't do anything before Brent Leo Smith these days. Thank you, Rebecca, for crushing my ego. I suppose Brent saw 38 crocodiles here as well, did he? Oh, look at that sinister thing. flaking through the muck. David, did you ever have the misfortune of having to read Raka die Aapmens at school? Raka die Aapmens, hy wat nie kan dink nie. This was an epic poem written in the language of Pidgin Dutch that we had to learn at school, and it was about Raka, the ape man basically, and history doesn't relate how or why he was an ape man living amongst normal human beings. But Raka die Aapmens used to live in what was called the vuil skuimende bad, which means the foul and slime-riddled muck, a pond like this. And, this is exactly how I imagined the vuil skuimende bad of Raka die Aapmens. Hello, Janet. You're wondering if the algae is toxic. No, I don't think it's toxic at all. I think it's probably very good chow for various birds. Egyptian geese specifically, they will love this. And I suspect you'll find they're not knocking about in it right now because of those crocodiles. And also, it's all at this side of the dam. Back onto the hippos quickly, Dave. They're having another fight. There we go. Also, because of the wind's been blowing consistently from the southeast, it's concentrated all of this stuff, all of this algae over this side. Oh, and hippo closer by, Dave. Sorry about that. So much going on here. Oh, they've naturally settled down. Isn't this fun? Oh, there are a number of viewers who are complimenting me on my Afrikaans. I can only assume that's because they're not Afrikaans speakers, because I've been accused of having a very effeminate Afrikaans accent. But thank you very much for your kind comments. Raka die Aapmens, hy wat nie kan dink nie. Very unfortunate poem that we had to learn. You know what happened to Raka, David? He eventually took over the tribe. He killed Quirky. Quirky was the leader, and he used to swim in a clean pool, not a vuil and skuimende bad. Ooh. Driving, that's an interesting question. I hope you're not actually driving while you've been asking this question on Twitter. You say, do crocodiles ever eat terrapins in leaner times? Yeah, I'm sure they do. You know, they're not fussy about what they eat. There go the what is that? That's a bit of carcass, I think, Dave. It was moved. Oh, there's probably a crocodile eating it there. So that rotting piece of meat there is quite easy for a crocodile to eat, and so I don't think the foul stink of the terrapin would necessarily put them off. There certainly is a foul stink coming off the surface of the water, and I suspect David's just spotted where it's coming from. This is rather fun, isn't it? There's our croc, Dave. He's out. Well, he's just sticking his head. He's about to sort of go into the cleaner water there. Down a bit. That's him there. Raka die krokodil. Hy wat nie kan dink nie. He's waiting for dark before he goes into the clear water. Like a submarine. Thank you, Liz. You say, I am the first person to see crocodiles on Chitwa. I'd love to say that I am the first person. Unfortunately, David is the first person that saw a crocodile on Chitwa. Now, Darby, I think we should go back across towards the crocodile, not the crocodiles, the hippos, the other side. They seem to be about to get out, or seem to be about to do something of note. If you can hear the vague sounds of singing, it seems to be someone very happy with life in the Chitwa Lodge. Possibly on account of the fact that they're going to have a huge party tonight. No, it's not. It's a staff church. It's the staff at church. I can hear them clapping now. Now, Sri Rama, you've asked a very good question. Perhaps one I should have addressed a little earlier. You want to know about the birds' nests that there are here. Well, those ones there that you're looking at, the blacksmith lapwing, they don't actually have nests other than on the ground. But the big ones that you can see there, of course, are the red-billed buffalo weavers. And the red-billed buffalo weaver, of course, is ubiquitous in this area. And they build nests all over the place. Those are the only ones that I can see. There are 2 fish eagles' nests around here somewhere, but I don't know where they are. Alright, let's ease our way across the dam wall here. It's not Sunday today, is it, David? It's Saturday. Perhaps it's Saturday church. Didn't get any of that. Anyway, apparently we're using a bit of signal. Ooh! Hardy-dar ibis. The reason I went ooh was not because of the hardy-dar ibis. I thought David spotted a fish eagle's nest. Anyway, I'll pretend that I was excited about the hardy-dar. Hippos making their grunts. Now, apparently signal not too good from here, so what we're going to do is reverse back down off the wall and continue our little traverse of Chitwa. Is that all right, Rebecca? Are you happy with that option? Apparently we still have signal. That's good news.
She came down the tree and she's popped across our northern boundary. Now, we do apologize. Apparently there was some technical difficulties, but you have to remember we are live in the African bush, so we can't always control the weather and other things that might affect the signal. So there we go. She's crossed into our northern neighbors, but we've still got that lovely view of her sitting on a fallen marula. Now, I'm really hoping she comes back tomorrow. I think I'm definitely going to be searching for her. And for Vutomi. And there we go. We're going to get one last glimpse as she disappears. Lovely. Oh, look at that tail just curl around the marula. That was wonderful. Flick. Get away, fly. Oh, wow. Well, what a wonderful New Year's Eve treat. Inkanyeni, the female leopard, the queen of the east, as I like to call her, disappearing now to the northeast. And I think, Brian, should we test our luck today? I think let's go look for some cheetah. Maybe we'll get lucky again, like we've been lucky so far. Oh, look at the size of that ground beetle. Yeah, the big one is on the move as well. There he is. Oh, he's hiding now. Some of those ground beetles have... Oh, I reckon he's hunting. Let's see if we can get a bit closer. I think he's hunting termites. There he is. He's on the move. I saw some termite allets around there. Look at that. That is a really big ground beetle. Now, those guys have monster gnashes on them, and they will easily draw blood if they were to bite you. Now, in certain species, can not only draw blood, but spray acid out of their mouth parts. So, not only are they armored and armed, they also have chemical defenses. Let's try see if we can move a little bit. Oh no. Is he going to turn for us? Oh, yo, that is a big guy. I'm going to see if I can catch him. Oh, he's disappeared. Right, as I said, we're going to keep moving. Now, big news, of course, you know we've got some eyes in the sky, but it seems like the brand new eye in the sky is ready for one of its maiden flights with its new camera gear, and it's going to be flying around Quarantine. There we go. We're over Quarantine. You can see the DRC to the right. It's going to be flying towards the tent, where we'll be having a New Year's Eve fireside chat this evening. And there we go. Now you should be able to see the tent. Very exciting. Now, this particular drone, Connor built from scratch, did he not? I think. And now it is out and about, and hopefully we'll be using it a lot in the coming weeks. There we go. You can see the tent where we will be doing our New Year's Eve fireside chat. Now, all the guides are here, so it's going to be quite an exciting one, so don't miss out. Now, I'm going to do a quick look for the cheetah down on the southern open areas. If I get no luck there, I better start hightailing it back, otherwise I might not make it home for fireside chat. But I'm still going to look for the cheetah. I can't help myself. Remember, hashtag Safari Live or questions at WildEarthTV if you would like to ask us any questions about that incredible leopard we just saw, or the drone, or any other stuff that's happening all around on Safari Live. Now, we can't. Can we be that lucky, Brian? Cheetah, leopard. We still need to do the big cat 3 here on Cheetah Plains. We need to do lion, leopard and cheetah in one drive down here. Ooh, Brian, where did that come from? I was so busy looking at the leopard I did not notice the storm sneaking up on me. Did I bring my I didn't even bring my rain jacket. Brian, did you bring your rain jacket? Did you bring your rain pants?
I didn't.
You didn't bring your rain pants. Oh, we have and there we go. Have a Combritum Calinum, Brian. There we go. Just for you, very special. Oh, you threw my present away. Now, even though Inkanyeni was moving to the northeast and calling, Vutomi could still be down here somewhere, so it might be just worth a little squiz around as well. Oh, beautiful. Now I'm hoping we might get some nice zebra or wildebeest if there aren't any cheetah down on the big southern open area. Now this road we're driving on right now, it's called Shikankanka Road, which means cheetah. Now let's go across to Commander Bond, who's trying to emulate a cheetah's speed.
I am not, everybody. Brent speaks ill of me. Look at the mountainous view over there. I'm going to take a picture of it. I know it's illegal, David, but I don't care. It's so pretty. Oh, yes. All right, everybody, you're about to hear a click of a shutter. I apologize in advance. Oh, it won't take. That's very odd. It must know that it's illegal, David. What do you think? Let's try that again. Ah, there it is. Isn't that pretty? That really just is too stunning. I might have to take one more. Ah, there we go. Now, we're on the Chitwa airstrip here, and we don't have too long before we have to be back for our fireside chat, and unsurprisingly, a New Year's Eve theme, highlights of the year from all the presenters. We haven't worried about the highlights of the cameraman and that sort of thing, of course, because we are the most important, aren't we, David? Yes, that's exactly what I thought you were going to say. So you will find out what our highlights for the year were. Now, apparently there is a view of that sunset from above. Let's head up into the sky. Now you can see the mountains there of the western Drakensberg. You can see the sun about to peep out behind that storm cloud, going to go down there. Heavy, gorgeous clouds that have dissipated the light throughout the course of this wonderful afternoon. And Connor Teague's, of course, a long way to the west of where we are now. He's over quarantine, and we're roughly the same height here on the Chitwa airstrip, and looking at pretty much the same view, just from about sort of 5 miles or so to the east of where he is now. Isn't that gorgeous? I can't imagine what it must look like from the air. I believe we're coming to the sunset now. Let me stop. There we go, a 360. It's gorgeous, apparently. Rebecca says to me, everybody, that the sunset that you're looking at is gorgeous, and I think the sunset we're looking at is probably just about as gorgeous as the one you're looking at. Sorry, David. There we are. And they're so overwhelmed with how spectacular it is, we're going to leave you hanging in the air there for a little bit longer. Isn't that wonderful? Now that storm cloud is the same one that's been hanging around pretty much all afternoon. And there is the sun. And its set that you were just looking at. Now, can you tell us, Rebecca, was Connor flying the new drone or the old drone? Connor was flying the new drone, everybody. That means he is going to be so beside himself with excitement when we get back to camp that we'll probably have to tie him down and tell him to calm down, man. Anyway, that's really exciting. He's been waiting for a long time. We turned round on our airstrip here, and we're going to go a little bit east, and then we'll head back for home. Marvellous. Mary, yes, you asked the question, is it illegal to take photos of mountains? Mary, it is not illegal to take photos of mountains. It is illegal for presenters to take photographs while live these days, and there's a very good reason for that, and it comes from my trip to the Mara, where I was handed a quite nice camera with a very nice lens, and, well, basically you could hardly hear me speak for all the click, 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 as I took pictures of all the amazing things we saw. And we just decided it really does kind of detract from the sound of the wilderness and from the presenting if we are taking thousands of photographs. So that's why we don't take them while we're live too much anymore, except when we're feeling very brave, which I was. Oh, I don't think that this is a particularly good game drive area, do you, David? No, I think we've come back of house, as it were. Anyway, there are some Nyala, there's some Impala, there's a water tank or two, and there's an aircraft hangar. Wonderful. This is our only my second trip to Cheetah Plains. Anyway, Brent Leo Smith has got a jackal. Let's go across and find out what it thinks of the new year.
It looks like this jackal had the party too early, falling asleep out on this lovely green, luscious, open area. Hello, little one. They are so cool. It's a side-striped jackal. Now, believe it or not, we had cheetah tracks just up the road as well, and I wonder if they might not have even got here. They looked very fresh. So while you're looking at the jackal, I'm just having a quick pan across the open area. Seeing if I can spot a cheetah sleeping under a bush. Or on the move, even. Oh no, a bush. And a little cheetah stump. Hello, little one. Now, I wonder where the other one is. They normally are in pairs. And they don't normally not too far from each other. They can forage a fair distance from each other, but they're normally not too far away. Now, I think those cheetah have already crossed, unfortunately, and that's just due to how relaxed this jackal is. Now, if a jackal saw the cheetah, the side-striped jackal don't call very often like the black-backed jackal, but they've got a really meow, 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 meow. When they see a lion, leopard, or a cheetah, it's just this constant yelping at them. Meow, meow. I just want to go back to where I last had those cheetah tracks. Let me just look a little bit further on. I'll have a quick look. There's that little pan up ahead. Zaz is wondering, are jackals a type of wild dog? Indeed, they are part of the dog family, but they're their own separate group, the jackals. We get two species in South Africa. We get the black-backed jackal, and that one we've just seen, the side-striped jackal. Wow, that sky is quite impressive this evening. Hopefully we don't get wet on the way home, Brian. It does. And then from around the Serengeti, you get another species of jackal up into Kenya called the golden jackal, and they actually extend right the way through the Arabian Peninsula and into India. Bye, little jackalas. Now, I'm almost hoping that the cheetah haven't got this far. I haven't seen any tracks, but I've got a feeling those cheetah walked past while we were sitting with Inkanyeni in the tree, because they're on top of Andrew's vehicle tracks. I think we might have just missed them. But I'm not going to complain. I got to spend the majority of my afternoon with my favorite leopard female. I just want to show you those cheetah tracks because they are so exquisite in that little bit of mud there. Now, Michael... they came through here. I just want to find a really clear track. There was one up ahead. Michael's wondering, do black back and side striped jackals interbreed? They don't. Black backs and side stripes will often chase each other depending on who's got the numerical advantage. Where was that very clear track, Brian? A little bit further. I think they have already crossed, unfortunately. But I just want to show you, it was such a perfect track. Not often you get tracks that exquisite. It's around here. Now, Joe was wondering, are all jackal species solitary or pack animals? Now, look at that. I mean, it is unheard of. Joe, I'm going to get back to your question, but I've just arrived at these... I'll just answer your question quickly. that they are normally they live in pairs, Joe. So they're neither a pack nor solitary. They're pair species. Okay, but I mean, look at how perfect these tracks are. I mean, you never ever get to see tracks so exquisitely perfect. And you can see, oh, this one in particular, the back foot. You can see where's a little stick. You can see the 3 lobes here so nicely. And then the big thing about cheetah compared to the other cats, the claws. The semi-retractable claws that show on the track. Leopards, lions, not going to have that. The other thing is, for a relatively small animal, the cheetah's got a very big footprint. Now, that is, I mean, if I put my hand next to it, you see how big it is for a very slightly built animal? Now, they need those big feet. Now, that's a front foot. Is it? Let me have a quick look. Yes, that's a front foot. The bigger foot is the front foot. And they need those big feet for a bit of stability when they hit those incredibly high speeds. Now, I only see tracks of 1 here. Now, I wonder, maybe it's a lone... Is that a funny starling call, or was that a monkey? Before final control is waiting for me with the stick, or I have to do my fireside chat segment from my car. I'm still going to go past one little other spot I want to check for Vitomi on my way back to Djuma. Monty is wondering how many times do I think I've stopped and started my vehicle in 2016. Brian? Thousands, hundreds of thousands. Maybe even 1 million. Did I use the wrong finger?
Yeah, it's pinky.
Oh, it's pinky. Sorry, Brian. Brian just looks at me, shakes her head. I'm doing. Okay. So I need to start covering some kilometers, as they say. It's a pity James isn't driving, because I could sit behind him and say, "Home, James!" and don't spare the horses. Hello, Michael. Michael's wondering about the very exciting TV series that's going to be going out in the US. And Michael's wondering, is it every day or once a week? It's once a week. Sunday night, the first episode will be at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the 1st of January. And then the following 7 weeks will be going out at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the following 8 weeks. So there we go. Those are our times, and we can't wait to take... Well, you're already on the adventure, but can't wait to take you on the big TV adventure as well. Okay, well, I now quickly but steadily eat up some kilometers on our way back towards Djuma. Let's go to James, who has got a striped donkey.
There it is, a very confiding striped donkey. Hello. What are you hoping for in the new year, striped donkey? Ah, good. A wife, perhaps? Yes. You are a lonely bachelor, I see. And you seem to be with 2 other lonely bachelors. Yes, 2 Impala. There they are. None of them with any female company at all. Let's hope that they've got a party to go to tonight. It would be a travesty for 3 strapping young people like them not to go and find some kind of love this evening. Yes, good idea. Now that, of course, is a fairly substantial stallion, and where his ladies might be, I don't know. Maybe he doesn't look young. Maybe he's been tossed from his herd, but he's in excellent condition. But he doesn't want to talk to us anymore. He's a bit ashamed. Maybe he's going to have a shower to get ready and spruce his mane, David, for his party this evening. Now, I believe that we're going to wrap up the segment on 2 truths and 1 lie that I gave you. A rather silly segment in that, well, I kind of made them up on the fly and they weren't very good. So I'm pretty sure you all got it right. And we'll just get the percentages from Rebecca now. Ooh! 52% of you went for fact 1, which was that the ostrich is the only flightless bird in South Africa. Okay. 20% went for fact 2, which was that there are 900 species of bird in the Kruger Park. And 27% went to fact 3, which was that the Corey bustard is the heaviest flying bird in the world. Now, on my calculation, was it 53? 52%, Rebecca, went for fact 1. So 52% of you thought that fact 1, that the ostrich is the only flightless bird in South Africa, was rubbish. No, in fact it was true. The ostrich is the only flightless bird in South Africa, unless I'm talking rubbish. I gave you 2 wrong facts there. I didn't consider the penguins. Sorry. So I didn't stump you at all, you stumped me. Anyway, the ostrich is the only flightless land-based bird that there is in South Africa. I do apologise to all of you for that. I forgot completely about penguins as I made it up on the fly. Fact 2, 900 species in the Kruger National Park. 20% of you said that that was rubbish. That is in fact the rubbish. That was the rubbish one. So most of you should have said that that was nonsense. There are over 900 species of bird in South Africa, but in the Kruger about 500 or so have been seen. So that was the actual rubbish fact. And fact 3, 20% of you said was nonsense, and I'm glad that most of you got that right. The Corey bustard is indeed the world's heaviest flying bird, weighing in, some of them, at an astonishing 17 kilograms. I think that's the heaviest one recorded, and that is around about 42 pounds. The heaviest flying animal in history seems to have been an 80 kilogram bird. Now, I am astounded by that. 80 kilograms is 180 pounds. Can you imagine seeing a 180 pound bird flying towards you? You'd take cover quite quickly, I think. Right. We're heading towards the fireside chat now. Rebecca seems to not be talking to me anymore on account of the fact that I got that all mixed up. Sorry about that, everyone. There we are. And we'll head up onto quarantine and get another nice view of the storm coming in. You all right there, David? And see if we can't find an animal. No, like I say, we did see some buffalo at the very beginning of the drive. I thought we'd come back to them, but then I got a bit distracted by other things. But that was the only big game that we saw on this drive. Had a bit of a lean time of it cat-wise of late. Hopefully that will not maintain over the course of this work cycle. Oh, yes, I think it may well rain again. I'm quite glad we're quite close to home and the fireside. Down through Philemon's Dip. David, careful. A ring-necked dove on the road. There it is. That's a really nice shot of a ring-necked dove. As they fly off. Thanks for the click there, Dan. I nearly drove off the road there. So excited about the New Year's party. Everybody, our New Year's party is going to go from 7 o'clock to 7:45, and then we're all going to go to bed because we have to get up at 3:45 in the morning. I think last year was the first year since forever that I didn't wait until New Year's Eve or till New Year broke. Have you ever done that, David? You normally wait for New Year? No. But last year the thought of a 4 o'clock start, I'm afraid, put me to sleep rather early. So we'll have our enormous New Year's bash for 45 minutes after the fireside chat, and then we'll all go to bed.
Except for Connor.
Except for Connor. Is he insisting? Connor is insisting that he stays awake to see in the new year. And Brent says we might make it to 8:30. Wow, you know, brave man like Brent, you know, young buck like him, he might. I'm not sure I'll make it all the way to 8:30. Connor, of course, must take responsibility. Now he is the operator of a flying machine. He must be on top of his game tomorrow morning when we kick off at 5 o'clock in the morning for our practice session. Can't have him sort of flying bleary-eyed with a six-prop drone. We need a name for it. The other one I called Duncan on account of the fact that, well, D drone, you know, is how I tend to do things. And then this one is much bigger, and it's a Matrice. That is the brand that it has, a Matrice. Maybe we should call it Marvin. Isn't that gorgeous? Marvin the Matrice. Very nice. Now, a rare pleasure that we're about to have, everybody, is the entire Wallington family here. There they are. There's Mr. Wallington, Mrs. Wallington, Miss and Miss Wallington, and Rhoda. Good afternoon. How are you? Good? We went to Arathusa and to Chitwa, and now we're back on Djuma. That's where we are, yes. Arathusa was wonderful. Yes. No, a waterbuck. 4 waterbuck. Right, as you were, we shall do. Bye-bye. That's the Brains Trust, everybody. You have to be very polite to them all the time. I'm glad they didn't hear us talking about Marvin the Matrice and Connor having the odd tipple this evening in celebration of the new year. There's an elephant. Can you believe it? David, it's very far away. Can you see it? It's not an elephant at all, is it, David? It's a buffalo. I told you we'd come back to the buffalo. And there they are at roughly 1,000 yards. Marvellous. Right, we have to go very fast now because we're going to fireside chat. David, I think we should have another look at the sunset. Don't you? Yes, good. We just have to pass a slightly difficult area here. Now, on account of the fact that this is our New Year's broadcast, we might take you actually into the camp, because I know Brent doesn't have any signal at all and I need to get to the fireside chat, so you can probably see a little bit of the behind the scenes. I know sometimes that's quite interesting for some people. For others it's utterly uninteresting. That's how it's going to be today. A wonderfully beautiful afternoon. I'm glad we found some big game, David. I'm sure everyone else is most relieved as well. Ah, the lovely smell of the cooking fires as we come into camp. Possibly one of the most comforting smells in the world. Right, everybody, this is normally where we'd sign off, but we're going to drive you straight into camp, and we're going to put Wendy undercover, because if we don't, well, then it's quite likely that she'll get wet during the fireside chat. There are some Nyala. Hello, Nyala. Are you coming to the tent for your New Year's Eve party? Are you? No. Well, best not then. Good. On we go. Now we're coming into camp. That is a hire car. And just before we link to the tent, I just want to introduce you quickly to Alex and Peter, and of course, Eggsy. Right, without further ado, let us head across to the tent where Stefan Winterboer is waiting for you.